Welcome to the Festival of Storytellers. I thank everybody that's involved with this process because we know writers need readers and writers need publishers.
Experience is not about the publisher. It is about us, the authors.
Well, welcome to day 5 of the Festival of Storytellers. My name is Joanne Radke, and I'm an author. My latest book is Why Is My House Always a Mess? How to Declutter and Organize Your Home in Just 30 Days. So today, I want you to just fire your questions at me. It could be on any topic on why is my house always a mess? It could be on why am I always in debt? My second book about debt and budgeting and balancing your budget. It could be about my children's books, Jessica the Dreamer, Jessica's Dilemma, Jessica and the Giant Marshmallow, or it could be about The Sanctuary, my suspense romantic novel. Okay, so today we scheduled to talk about budgeting and why am I always in debt, getting rid of our debt and getting balanced in our finances. How do we do that? Well, yesterday we talked about budgeting and how do we budget? What is a budget? It's important to budget because if we don't know how much we're spending, hi Bob, we don't know, how much we got left. So we need to know how much we are spending. And yesterday I suggested that you write down every little thing you buy, on a piece of paper, a pad, or a little book. And at the end of your month, calculate what was food, what was eating out, what was gas, and calculate them all in kind of like departments on lists. And when you do that, you know kind of how much the actual cost has been this month and what you have spent. In order to know how to budget, you need to know what you've spent. Okay, so I do this all the time, and I've budgeted all my life. And so I can tell to the penny what I spent last year on anything. Ask me what. Eating out. I could tell you how much I spent on eating out every month and every transaction, actually, but every month and every totaling in the year. So I do that so that I can adjust. Okay, do I want to spend the same amount or do I want to cut down on that? Do I want to cut down on groceries? Do I want to cut down on my travel, my gasoline, and different things like that? Now, some costs are fixed cost. Your rent, your monthly rent bill, or your mortgage, how much is that? Your utilities, things you need to pay for. So you need to take them off first. So you write down how much they are, how much you've spent, each month, and the balance of how much they are on a monthly basis. That will be the balance of your budget for utilities. That will be the balance of your budget for your rent, etc. So you could do it detailed, or you can do it just a little bit. You can lump rent and taxes and utilities together, but I like to do and see what my hydro bill was and my gas bill was and my taxes were, house taxes, etc. If you're renting, you don't have to worry about house taxes. But if you're buying, if you own your home, that's another bill that you have. How much have I spent on my cable, on my internet? How much have I spent on entertainment and fun? Where can I cut down? So you look at it, you look at what has come in. How much money do I make? What's my net income? Yeah, so hi, Joyce. Oh, Joyce Kelly. I know you, Joyce. Anyway, yeah, so if I know how much I've spent, then I can adjust that accordingly to what I bring in. So I have a spreadsheet with my income, and I have a spreadsheet for my expenses, my fixed expenses, and then my other expenses. Stuff comes up all year about what you will spend. Maybe you need to buy some vitamins or something like that that isn't normally on your list. Well, put that under your household list. Thank you, Kelly. Yeah, so it's important to be flexible in your budget, flexible in adding columns in your budget. So you can start small. I have a list for a column for clothing, and I have a column for hair and nails. I have a column for books and tapes, CDs, or, you know, just things I like to enjoy as my hobbies. But for the most part, it's pretty fixed on what I'm spending, and every year it's similar. I don't add too many columns new. Now, you say, well, you know, I got so much to pay for and not enough money. That's the other thing you need to look at. So you either cut down your expenses or you make more money. How do you make more money? You can sell things. You have a garage sale. You can create a product and sell it. My books are a product. What do you know? Can you write a book? What do you like to do? Are you knowledgeable in what you like to do, your hobby or whatever? You know, lots of people are writing books on all kinds of things and are making a little bit of money on it. I would say you don't, in my experience and what I've heard, you can't get rich writing unless you're a Stephen King. So that's a sideline. Multiple of incomes. So right now I work for 700 Club. I also work for my church. So that's 2 incomes. I was working for Primerica. That's a 3rd income. I was selling oils. That was a 4th income. So what can you do? What can you babysit? I was doing wills and budgets for people. That was a 5th income. So it just brings in a little bit at a time, but it all helps. I have people who donate to me. One lady, I pray for her every week, and she donates to me as a result. So that's a 6th income. So what can you do? Be creative to bring income in. Maybe you can help your neighbor. Maybe you can, if you like outdoors work, the old-fashioned mowing the lawn or working in the garden, a neighbor's garden. What can you do? Maybe helping somebody get their groceries, an elderly person get their groceries every week. You know, there's a lot of things you can do that will help bring in some extra money. But one thing is selling stuff. You can sell stuff online. There are town markets on Facebook, and you can sell your stuff. One of the girls that used to live with me, that's another income. I used to do Airbnb and bed and breakfast. And so both brought in to more incomes, so that my income streams were up to 8 at that point in time. I don't have that many now. I have tenants in my basement, and I have a tenant upstairs living with me. So that's 2 incomes. Or you can put it under bed and breakfast. But there are lots of ways you can make money, or get a second job. If you can type, we used to be able to type assignments for college students, editing. You like to write, so edit. Look and see what editing jobs there are online, or, there's lots you can find to increase your income. Babysitting, dog sitting, house sitting. It's the sky's the limit in what you can do to make more money. So, have you bought my book? If you haven't, go to www.declutterinthirtydays.com. Declutterinthirtydays.com. And you will find there a link to go to Amazon, whether you live in the States or Canada, to buy my book. You can buy it as a book, or you can buy it as an e-book. Okay, so Shane, I don't know if you're still watching. The trailer does not have www.declutterinthirtydays.com. If you go there to www.declutterinthirtydays.com, you will, it's my landing page. You will see a challenge, a 5-day challenge for decluttering your home. You will see a little bit more about me. You will be able to go and sign up for my Declutter Club on Facebook. So go to www.declutterinthirtydays.com, and that's 30days.com, so you can join my Declutter Club. Okay, so we're talking about not only decluttering your home, but how to get out of debt. My brother and the lady next door I was talking about yesterday, her name was Elizabeth Taylor. She would go to flea markets and all kinds of things and buy stuff and resell it at a higher price. And my brother was known to do that as well. I remember one time he came home with a pinball machine, and he played with it for a while, and then he sold it for more than what he bought it for. So he made $100 on that. He was always doing that, buying stuff and selling it for more. And it's amazing how you can make money that way. Lots of people do it. If you look at Amazon, lots of people, you will buy something cheaply somewhere and sell it on Amazon for, 10 times the amount of money that they bought it for. That's a good way of making money as well. But there's lots of ideas that are out there. Thank you, Shane, for putting my credentials up there. So, how to manage our debt. We were talking yesterday about spending on credit card. Now, that's a dangerous thing if you can't control it. Most people, the best way to do it is to save up your money before you buy what you want. Wait for it to come on sale and then buy it. You have the money in the bank, so you want it, you can buy it. Living within your means, that's right. And if we can learn how to live within our means or be below our means, then we'll have savings to use on a rainy day or when we want to go on that trip or whatever. So you can negotiate with your creditors. Most credit cards are 22+%, 20 to 25%. There are cheaper, less interest credit cards out there. So shop around before you get a credit card. You get one with 10% interest rather than 20% interest. You'll save an awful lot of money in the long run. If you have a lot of debt, you can negotiate with your creditors, and they want some money. If they can't have it all, they will negotiate for some if you're in dire straits financially. And that's another way that you can get out of debt. Would you recommend to use credit card or cash? Well, if you have cash, cash is always the best, but you don't have a running total of what you spent. I've learned to control my credit card spending, so I put everything on credit card because I pay it off every month, but it gives me a running total of everything I've spent to the penny that I can put in my budget at the end of the month. Now, I pay my credit card off about every 15 days. I don't wait till the 30th day. I wait 15 and 15, basically because the interest will start probably around the 20th day after you've purchased something. So if you pay it off on the 15th, then you're fine. You don't have to pay any interest on your credit card. And I always pay a little bit more than what I owe at the time because I'm using it all the time. You know, if I've got $100 credit on my credit card, that's okay because I'm going to use it today or tomorrow for something, groceries or gas or whatever. So I'm always running at a minus on my credit card if I possibly can. And that way I never have to pay interest. If I have to pay interest, I call the credit card company up and say, why have I had to pay interest? I paid this on time. And they usually reverse them. So that's a good thing. Same with your bank accounts. Check out the cost of having a bank account. I was with one bank and it was charging me almost $16 a month for interest. And to me, that was a lot because my other bank accounts were only $4 a month, but they would give me a credit of $4, service charge and interest. And so it balanced out to most of the time I didn't have to pay anything. So that's a good thing to look at as well. Would I recommend living in the country or the city? Well, I think it depends on the person, what you like. Some people love city life. Other people love the quiet country life. I like small town life myself. My happiest days in my life have been when I lived in a small town. Now I live in a city right now in the suburbs, and I've never liked the city I live in, but God's placed me here. And so I've lived here for 30 years. But when I was pastoring as a young 20-year-old, I loved living in little towns and pastoring in little towns. It was just fun. And that. But living in the country is a beautiful thing too. Yeah. Ahoy Slacker loves living in small towns too. I love the country. You can buy land and have a nice stretch of land, but then you got to work the land. And what do you want? You know, it might be more work, but it's more peaceful. I lived in the country at one point in my life for about 4 years, near where I live now. And we had 3 acres of land, and it backed onto the ravine. And so it was beautiful. And deer would come up to our house, and we'd have a salt slick for them, and raccoons and what have you. And it was a nice, relaxing place to live. And we enjoyed it until the house started breaking down. We were renting at the time. Saving tips. Well, couponing. Have you ever couponed? Lots of people do well with couponing, or looking for bargains in the grocery stores. I have several friends that buy stuff 30% off, 50% off, that kind of thing. Watch the flyers, see what's there. Was a price checking, or you compete with another store, and if it's on sale for 59 cents in one store, and the store you go into it's $1, you can show them by price shopping, oh well, this store is offering it for 59 cents, will you offer it for 59 cents? That kind of thing. And a lot of stores will honor that because they're still getting a little bit. They might not be getting the full $1, but they're still getting 59 cents of your money. So that's another way of having a tip on your grocery bill. What I do with a friend of mine, I'm single, I live alone. My friend is single and lives alone with her puppy. And so she'll go to Costco, which is a big bulk store, and buy several things, and ask me if I want half of it. And some of the stuff is, yeah, and other stuff it isn't. So I will buy half of of her purchase on particular things. And so that way it doesn't go bad because we're both eating it. If you have a friend like that, that's a good thing to do. Go in shopping together and do that. Sean says flea markets are a great place to find good ideas, good deals. They really are. You have to have the time to go shopping through them, though. And if you're busy on certain days, flea markets are only on the weekends, I understand. But you can find a really good bargain there, even bargains to sell, so you could make more money. So, all of these things you need to look at and think about to make extra money, to save extra money. I think aside from the money, people should also learn how to budget their time. Yes, definitely. When you budget your time, okay, for an instance in that, what I do, being alone, I will go to the grocery store and buy a family pack of meat. Maybe I'll buy some steak or some chicken or some pork chops, family size, maybe 6 pieces. And so I will cook them all up. I'll cook them all up on a Saturday with vegetables. I'll buy, whatever, rice or potatoes, and make them into meals. So I might have 25 meals I've cooked in one day. I put them in containers and put them in my freezer. And now I've got food for a month. It saved me on time because I've done it all together, maybe 3 hours. It saved me on electricity bill because I've only had to put the stove on once. It saved me on portion control. I don't have leftovers because I have them all portioned. Great for losing weight, great for your sugar levels. And it's been really great doing it that way. So that's what I do. That is saving time. It's saving electricity. And you've got a stock of food ready to eat, for the next month. How much do you believe people should set aside for personal expenses like hobbies and whatnot? Well, I think that depends, George, on how much money you have to start with. So yesterday we were talking about the 10-10-10-70 rule. So 10% for God, 10% for emergencies, 10% for savings, and 70% you live off of your money. And so you can take your emergency fund. You don't want to put that much aside, but try maybe another 5%. So 75 to 25. No, that's not quite right, is it? It's 35 to 65. So you live off 65, and the 5% of what you make is for your hobbies. It depends on how big your hobby is. I know a friend of mine is a hunter, and he's always buying stuff, hunting or fishing. And he's got all this paraphernalia, but once he's bought it, he has it. So it's not like he's having to fork out money every month for the same thing. Now, I know you have to have a license to do these things, and maybe renting the facility when you go out to do that. But try putting 5 to 10% away for your hobbies if you have the money to do that. If you don't have the money to do that, I would say just a little bit at a time. Basically, because you need to live, you need to have a place to live, you need to eat, you need to look after your family. So, yeah. But figure it out. How much are you spending? How much do you need for this and this and this? When you figure that all out, you'll know how much money you have left over. Yeah, in my experience with God, never forget to share your amount with God. So God is allowing us to work and to live. And basically, he gives us 100%, but he's only asking for 10% back. I have found in my experience, when I tithe, giving 10% to the Lord or more, God has blessed me. I can tell you times when God has given me cars, cash, shoes, just about anything I've needed. He has been there to give me, to bless me. But when I was young and I was checking this out, I learned how to tithe when I was 10 years old, and I tithed all my life until I got into my 20s. And then I decided I couldn't afford to tithe. That was my thought. And so I stopped tithing and I paid my bills. But all of a sudden, my car broke down, different things happened, and I didn't have enough money for the end of the month. Where when I tithed, I always had enough money and some extra. Now, how does that work? It's a supernatural thing you can't really understand. But God, there's no respecter of persons, and he will bless you if you start tithing to him. And so in my experience, that has been really, really a good thing to do. And I've done it all my life, and I do it joyfully. The Bible says, there's a saying, and it's scripture actually, Helium Detorum Diligentus, and it basically says God loves a cheerful giver. And that's scripture. He does. And you can't outgive God. How much do you think you should spend with a credit card? Only 10% of your salary? Well, it depends on how you pay for things. My credit card, for instance, and because I know how to handle a credit card, I've learned the hard way. I upped my credit card when I was when I was younger many times. I had to go to the bank and get a loan to pay off my credit cards, and then I'd use my credit cards, and then I had the credit card debt plus the loan debt. So that doesn't work. You get yourself more and more in debt. If you can handle paying by credit card, I do not spend on your credit card more than you make, more than you need. So when you make your budget, you take your rent off, your utilities off, all your fixed expenses off the amount you make. Okay, so let's say you make $2,000 a month. Your rent's $500, utilities $100, and so 1,000 of that is fixed income. So you can't spend any more than 1,000 because the other 1,000 is needed for your fixed expenses. It's expenses, fixed expenses, okay? Okay, when you go to buy a mortgage, mortgages usually are about 30, 35 years. That's a standard for a mortgage. Now, there are tricks to paying your mortgage down. First off, you have to qualify for a mortgage. Is this mortgage enough, less than you have the ability to pay? So you have more money after the mortgage to pay for other things. Because when you buy a property, you have to realize you've got other expenses that aren't when you're renting. You've got your utilities. You've got your taxes on top of that. You've got your water and sewage. So those bills will come in, and they're on top of your mortgage payment. But a mortgage, it usually takes 30 to 35 years to pay off your mortgage. In my experience, I borrowed on my mortgage, and so now I'm in a place where I will have my mortgage totally paid off when I'm 92. That's not a good way to be. When I quit my normal job at 700 Club, I probably will move and get a smaller place. I live in a 4-bedroom, beautiful home with a basement apartment that I rent. So what keeps me here is the basement apartment, and my renter helps with the mortgage payment and the quality and what it takes to keep this home. It's $4,000, $37,000 to $4,000 a month to sustain this home with the mortgage, the taxes, the utilities, the phone, the cable, the internet, all of that. That's a lot of money. And most people can't afford that. I don't make a lot of money, but with my combined income, that's what has helped me to be able to stay here. It's a beautiful property. I love it. And everybody who comes to the property loves it as well. But there will be a day when I have to sell and my mortgage will be paid off at that point. And then I will get some credit from the mortgage to be able to either put in my nest egg for retirement or to buy another little place that I can sustain without working at the 700 Club. So mortgages and properties are wonderful. Property is an investment, and most properties do well in the long run, where you will make more. If you stay there long enough, you will make on it. It'll be a real investment. So if you need more of these tips, when my book comes out, I will let you know on www.declutter.in30days.com. I'll put a note on there. So sign up, join my Declutter Club. And when my new book, Why Am I Always in Debt, comes out, it'll be posted there as well. If you sign up, then I've got your email address, and I will let you know when the new book comes. I have another book that's coming out, Jessica the Dreamer. It's coming out in the next couple of weeks or so. It's a picture book for children. And next week in Festival of Storytellers, I'm going to read two of my kids' books in this forum. One, Jessica the Dreamer, You Can Do Anything You Want with God's Help. And the second one, Jessica's Dilemma, a story about don't judge or you'll be judged, helping children learn how not to judge and hold grudges. Okay, well, my time is up, and so I have to go. But thank you for tuning in. Hope you have a wonderful weekend, and tune in again on Monday. And continue to watch today some of the other authors. You will be inspired and blessed. Okay? God bless. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on Monday. Bye-bye now.